Hello and welcome to Building a Business podcast. This is a show where we embark on an adventure with entrepreneurs across various industries, picking their brains and hearts on what it's like starting, building, maintaining, and growing a small business. Building a Business podcast brought to you by Virtual Palace Marketing, rehumanizing your marketing experience. My name is Sean. This week, we are back with Eddie from December 1st Florist. Hi, Eddie.
Hello.
Thank you for taking the time to join us and update, get an update on what's been going on in the past month. So let's jump right onto it. How have things been for the past month?
It has been okay, I guess. I mean, I feel better, but money wise, I'm not sure. I haven't checked yet. I haven't calculated everything yet. But luckily, one of my friends actually sent me a big order, so I actually do have some money to achieve my first short-term goal that I talked about in first episode. But I'm not sure whether I should spend it, but we will talk about this later. And then afterward, still struggling in my marketing plans and all. So other than that, actually not much. I mean, month-to-month basis, how businesses is not really that fast-paced when you just started. And now is to brainstorm with myself what to sell next month during the Mother's Day peak season.
Yes, Mother's Day is coming next month. And Ramadan is this month, which means Hari Raya next month as well, right? Historically, is Hari Raya a season where people buy gifts, flowers and everything?
I'm not too sure because I have not worked in that the target audience is not really focused based on race. But then for some unknown reason, most of the other races will come to us florists. But there's still markets one. It's just that purchasing behavior is more or less a little bit of based on race, even if you don't want to admit it sometimes. So
It's I think it is not so much on race, but more on culture. Like let's say for example, a Chinese person would know easier what another Chinese person wants in terms of certain flowers or certain bouquets for certain events, and the same goes to people of Indian descent and also the Malays as well. So that is why, let's say if we are buying something that in the terms of that carries certain cultural icon or reference or something, it is easier for them to go to a person of the same race and say, okay, I want this, and they know exactly what you want. Yeah. So I guess that is one of the thing lah. So let's talk about this this friend who was able to give you a big job. What was it about?
it was actually a award ceremony for some company. So there was quite some amount of stuff they need and and somehow I gave a lot of discount, so still earn quite a lot. So
Okay, that's good. Is there any, let's say, do you see an opportunity to multiply and duplicate this into to get more of the same kind of customers?
Especially when if the whole coronavirus situation is under control, I think it might come in a bit more. It's just that sometimes it depends on the amount of products they require. Because that day it took me about 12 hours to finish the whole thing. So I'm a bit scared after that day.
Okay. Okay.
You want to steady and one order per day, that is fine. But then it's an opportunity to like suddenly a big chunk of order coming in. You have to work. I mean, the workload wise is there lah. It's just that whether you have the about that. Do you really want to go like certain extent for this amount, or you want to go slowly to earn this amount? Yeah.
I guess one of the biggest challenges in what is this called, the kind of business like yours, is that if it comes, sometimes there's a whole lot of work to be done, and then all of a sudden there's a lot of empty space, so you don't know how to spread out that job in a way that even if you hire someone to help you, or even if you use your own time, you can spread out, like, to a weekly basis, so that you don't have to be so overwhelmed in one day and then the next day you got nothing to do, kind of thing.
But that's why I am still trying to market the brand out so that I have that chance to work, like maybe work a few hours every day, but steady. It's like I'm not really doing a lot of work every day. It's just that like it takes me a few hours to earn today, this amount today, and slow steadily. But then it's not like sometimes when you are really free, right, you don't need an extra hand. But then sometimes when a big job coming in that suddenly you need like 5 extra helpers to help you. So this is the imbalance when you're working alone.
Yes, I get what you mean. So Eddie, actually, right, you are not the only industry or business owner who have had this problem. This was actually the problem that gave rise to a subscription service, whereby a customer pays very little amount on a money basis for a consistent amount of work, but they take it for a long time. So let's say, for example, they sign up for a service that lasts one whole year, and in that service, for every month, they do kind of like not minimal but controlled amount of maintenance work. So from the business point of view, they know that this company would stay with them for 1 year. Therefore, they are able to hire another person to come in to do that work. And they know that within the year, this customer will not go away. So the question is there an opportunity in creating a subscription service for your line of business?
Yes, because I saw one of the competitors actually doing such thing like bi-weekly subscription or bi-monthly. So it's basically they are providing loose flower for the customer to arrange themselves. So the flower will be confirmed. Let's say every Saturday there will be a delivery. So you can change your arrangement every single week once the flower is wilted already. But it's an opportunity for me to think about but for now, I don't think it's a good move for my brand just yet. Yeah.
Okay, so there is an opportunity for you to spread out your costs, right? So if you think that it's not good for now, then yeah, you can just put it aside first. You know when you're ready, right? You know how to take it to the next level. And maybe you can use that as a starting point and then reverse engineer your path to see what it takes for you to get to where you want to be.
Yeah, but even if I'm doing that, I don't think that's my. I mean, for customer point of view, it's very convenient. But for me as a business owner, I don't think that's my main selling point. I mean, yeah. But still, if I have that service, I think when you grow this customer base on this service, then maybe it's one day they need an arrangement that needs me to arrange it, and then like a bouquet or something that they cannot do.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Okay. So there is actually, sorry, we're just on this, right? The subscription model can actually, let's say it just come to my head. There is an opportunity for you to maybe reach out to an office, let's say, right? And in an office, for example, every week they need a new bouquet of flowers, or every 2 weeks they need a new bouquet of flowers. You do the arrangement, but then they sign up with you for about 6 months to a year, and every week or once every week or once every 2 weeks, you go up and you take the old ones and you place the new ones for them. Then you take the old ones and then you rearrange it, and then in 2 weeks time you switch it back again, and then you switch it and you switch it. So in terms of margin, you may not get a lot, but it helps you with the bread and butter stuff. It covers your costs, it covers the minimal stuff, keeps it running, and then while you're ready to actually take up the big jobs that come very occasionally.
I suddenly thought of a slightly better idea. Now, usually office, that's my opinion. I'm not sure because I only had one office job in my life a long time ago, and it might not be a culture for offices who have an arrangement and then replace every single week unless they are really but I do
Which ones,
realize that. Sorry.
No, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. But there is quite a lot of people that send flowers or any gift to the colleague during the birthday. So maybe I can do like 1 year subscription. So whenever you have like January babies, so January babies will all have like a small bouquet. It doesn't have to be big, but then like everyone that's having birthday this month will get a small bouquet. So like maybe 10, something like that. So at least.
Yeah, that will work. You can work with your HR, and then there's definitely at least one birthday per month, right? So you can sort it out with them, and then you can arrange. Then you can actually tell them, well, I would guess tentatively, usually 80%, 90% of the staff will stay there throughout the whole year. So you can actually get the whole list. You can actually get the whole list and say, okay, then you can prepare ahead of time how many bouquets you need for April, May, June, July, things like that. That works as well.
Before that can go, I think work from home will no longer exist if I were to have this plan to go, because if not, I have to send to different locations, which the cost rise.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Something that they are looking at.
That's true. There will be a little bit more additional cost involved, because you need to send to like 10 different places.
Ironic. I do like working from home. I do like people working from home because I don't like traffic jams. But if everybody's going back to office, that means the jam will be even worse than currently. Because now it's not everybody is going back to office.
Yeah.
Sorry. So yeah, good and bad. That's very ironic.
Yeah, but for every bad thing there is always a good thing that will happen lah. Like going back to office is good because it centralizes everybody in one place. It's easier for them to do things as well. But the downside is that you get traffic jam lah. Yeah, and you did talk a little bit about the job that you got, which landed you a little bit of extra money, and you were planning to do something with it.
Yeah, I was planning to. Now, my first short-term goal was to get a chiller so that I can store whatever for a bit longer. I do have that money to get that done. It's just that I'm not sure whether should I spend that money, because if I spend that money, that means I have not much budget to do like maybe like I want to do a sample of a product and it needs money. I need to get stock and all. So I might not be throwing money so smoothly. I have to think a few more times before I buy something. I want to do something that might not succeed or might not sell. So yeah. The more the more money you have, the more daring you try something. Yeah, so I'm still thinking, should I take that step?
Okay. So this is the classic case of opportunity cost, right? If you buy A, you will lose out on the opportunity of B. If you get B, you lose an opportunity of A. And like you said, the less money you have, the higher the risk, the higher the opportunity cost. So my question to you now is, the first question is that if you were to get a chiller now, right, will you be able to fully utilize the chiller in the next 2 months, 3 months?
Not fully. Yeah.
So let's say, for example, if you can't fully utilize the chiller in the next few months, right? Does it mean that you can still do a little bit of running instead of, like you said, the reason for the chiller is for you to have all your raw materials in one place so you don't have to travel so much.
I mean, to keep it.
Yeah. So then instead of having it in one place, you still need to travel, which means that it will take a lot of time for you traveling back and forth. And so now the pro and con that you're weighing here is the cost benefit analysis that you're weighing here is that if I buy a chiller now, will the benefit outweigh the cost of traveling around and getting the raw materials?
For a long run, maybe, but for now, not really.
Okay. So then we all know that you need a chiller, but now it's clearer that you don't need it right now, not so urgent, right? And I think maybe what you said, you hit a point here, is that the more urgent thing is for you to create sample products to kind of showcase to people what are your potential, what can you do besides them imagining something and then you doing it based on what they want. So then you can create all these things, you can post it on social media, and then they will be like, hey, this one looks nice, I like this, I want this. So
yeah, now that you said it, I think I might spend a bit of that money to probably beautify my room so that I can have a bit. I mean, I have 2 more corners for better pictures, I guess.
Yeah, I think that would make sense as well. Yeah, and there is another kind of thing that we always do in businesses is that for every month, right, we try to allocate a certain percentage for savings. So it can be as little as 10%, 20%, 30%. It really depends, because the less money you take in, the less amount you are able to put in, because your base cost is there, right? So let's say, for example, at this point now, 30% is too much. Maybe you're going for 10%, maybe even 5%. It's fine. Just put it aside, right? And then every month, as long as you have the habit of putting money aside, right, and letting it slowly grow by itself, and then you say, I will use this money to buy my chiller.
Yeah.
Then it becomes like, you are not chopping an arm in order to save a leg kind of thing.
It's like cutting nails every day.
Yeah.
Until that.
Yes. Yes. And it also makes sense because by the time you are able to save that much on a monthly basis, that means you are making enough, you are selling enough to be able to fill the chiller with all the raw materials at that point.
Okay. Yeah. Agree.
All right. So now it's clear already. Good. All right. So moving forward, have there been any updates on a marketing front?
Marketing front, not much because I still haven't consult any of the professionals yet, so I'm still more or less doing the same thing. It's just that I cut out a lot of customer preference from advertising. I mean, boosting a post or posting an advertisement, because last time I used to put a lot of keywords. So now I'll just cut down a little bit so that it's not so clustered. And I do have a little bit more people sending me DM. Not all of them are buying something, but at least people are curious. And also, the most important thing is still the quality of the picture. I mean, so I really have to invest a bit more on the backdrops and all the things that I need to take a good picture of the product. Because nowadays people, I mean, it's part of no, it's actually a big chunk of how you build your brand, because it all shows from the picture. So if the picture's not nice, I didn't try to take like that. So people might not have that confidence. But if the picture is like very professionally taken, so people might, wow, so nice. But it's actually the same product that I took like that, and it doesn't. But when I put it there, it's just wow. So, yeah, that's part of very big part of marketing that I still need to learn. And also, one more thing. I actually bought this from a friend. So I think from now on the picture will look slightly better, because I haven't figured out how to fully utilize all the functions yet. So the picture might still look a little bit same with smartphone, but it will confirm be clearer. There won't be any blurring or any way.
That's good. Yeah, awesome. So there definitely will be difference in terms of your photo quality, but as with all cameras, right, lighting plays a very, very major role. So I know that you have one of those ring lights, right? If you can, like those. So if you take a photo with a ring light, if it's from one direction, you will get a very heavy shadow on the other side. If that is what you intend to do, it's fine. But if you want it to be more, the light to be more like surrounding and more complete, you can use two and you can hit to one direction, right? Then what it does is it actually it takes away a lot of the shadows, and you're able to get a lot more detail, and that will help with the photo quality.
But somehow I still think this kind of light is still too harsh for pictures. I mean, the shadow, it doesn't look like natural light. I mean, you mean natural light is, I don't know, the effect is better one, because the shadow is not so heavy and so 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 defined, like sharp shadow like that. So I still have to like find something to like maybe cover it or something like that.
Yes, you can actually try one thing. You can actually try mahjong paper, or you can try baking paper, and then you wrap the light. It diffuses the light that goes into the subject, and then you can actually buy a reflector as well to put it directly on the other side of your camera. So what it does is when the light comes in, right, it hits, and then the deflector actually reflects back, so the other side won't be so dark. And when the other side is not so dark, it looks as if the shadow is not so sharp already one. So there's a little bit of these things, like you don't have to invest heavily on these things. Some of the stuff are very cheap things.
There's a lot of things. No, there's a lot of things in my room that is DIY. Like the curtain right here is just a piece of cloth. I just sew it on my from like I'm sewing it myself. It's not even machine one, so I'm quite proud of myself lah.
Yeah, great. No, whatever we take to make things work, right? It's times like this that, let's say maybe like 5-6 years down the road, when you have a florist with a workshop and you got a few staff and everything, and then you sit down and then you think, I used to run this in my room, and everything also I have to make by myself, and
when you think back,
everything
is one leg kick one. the classes, right? Now I've been thinking a lot for a while, but the class thing, right? I might not really do it even in future. Maybe lah, maybe lah. I still haven't decided yet because I don't know. It's one thing. There's a lot of classes going on already, and I still don't think teaching people how to do arrangement is first thing. It's not my thing. Secondly, I don't think it's really in the market. I mean, how many people will be having a hobby to? I mean having a plan to start doing a florist business, because most of the classes that I see that is advertised on social media is professional florist kind of class. Like you're really planning to be a florist, so this is the class for you. So I don't know. I don't. For some reason, I don't know what reason, but then for some reason, I don't feel like I want to do yet.
Okay.
For me. Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. You can focus on one thing that you can do and do very well, and then build that up first. It's called the minimum viable product. So build that one, the thing that you're most competent at, do that first. So you don't get so scattered, don't get so fragmented. So you become a specialist in one thing.
I also don't feel like want to like they say 爆肝了.
Yeah, like all in one kind of service lah. Yeah.
Not really a good thing for a brand unless you are a big company. Then that's another story.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Has there been any learnings that you came up with in the past month?
Actually, not much. It's just that right now I'm still thinking of how to do all my accountings and all my reporting better. I mean, organizing the receipt, the money in and out. It's still all over the place. I think most of the company, not most less than most maybe, people hate to do all these things, and then they procrastinate, and then end of the day, everything is a mess. And then you can't trace it because like, oh, this receipt is 7 months ago. I don't have that document anymore. Sorry. Yeah. So still learning how to make myself love to do it. Not to love, but like eventually like do it today. I still don't have that motivation to do it up until now. Okay. That's one thing.
From my experience with this, right? If you don't like to do this stuff, I don't think you ever will like it. So there's two ways to do this. Number one is you can get a software. There are a lot of free softwares out there, accounting softwares that help you create quotation, create invoice, and then from there they send the invoice out, and then once you get the payment, you can record payment in the app. So what it does is it actually puts everything into one place. You can see your expenditure versus your revenue, and then you can also put your own all your expenses in there as well, and then it will tally everything out and be able to give you a monthly overall. I use this app called Wave, W-A-V-E. It's called waveapps.com. I think they got bought over by another company, and I don't think they are accepting new accounts that are outside of US and Canada now. But on the top of my head, I cannot find any accounting software that are free, but there are a lot of free accounting software, especially for small businesses, right? There is a free tier that is very, very good to use one. And then you can also send invoice and send receipt to them. The only difference is on the free tier, right? There is their logo printed down there by whatever company, but it's fine because at the end of the day, you are a small company and people accept that a small company will use free software like this, right? But what it does is it helps save a lot of time, and the most important thing is it digitizes your entire system so you don't lose anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
But right now, the most important part is I have to make a habit of, sometimes when you go buy stock and then there's receipt and then you pay with cash and it's not in your bank account, so you can't trace. So you have to manually key in. Yeah, I have to force myself to key in that right after that purchase. Right? If not, yeah,
Is there a way to digitize that as well? Is there a way to digitize that as well? Like you use an e-wallet?
I think you can print your e-wallet statement. I mean, like the history.
Yeah.
I think if not, then screenshot.
Yeah. Screenshot will work. Or you can print, let's say, for example, you can dedicate one e-wallet. You can dedicate like GrabPay or Touch and Go, right? Specifically only for your work.
And because when you go to this shop, right, I got only Touch and Go. I got no Grab, but the Grab is my personal one. The Touch and Go is my personal one. So it's like, yeah, unless I have two phones.
Do they use? Do they all accept cards?
They do. So that's why I always ask them like, how much in total. Then I just like use my whatever Maybank app to. I mean the account that I have under my company to bank in, which takes a long time, and then the queue behind me is like staring at me. So that's why I'm still thinking whether should I use the other phone of mine to do that because it's very low spec. But
the other thing you can do is actually, let's say if they accept card, right? Visa, Master, you can use a BigPay account. You can subscribe to a BigPay, which gives you a free debit card. You can load up the money into that card every month, and then use that to tap and pay. The easy thing about that one is that card is specifically for you to buy raw materials. So every month, all you need to do is just to generate the statement from that card, and everything comes out.
So it's like the system wise is like Touch and Go, but then how you spend it is like you using your credit card only. It's just that you use your bank money to put credit into this thing.
Yeah.
Nice. I'll check that out.
Yeah. So you can check out BigPay lah. I mean, BigPay doesn't sponsor the show and all that, but but I use BigPay myself. So, and it's good because I get to take away all this nitty-gritty everyday kind of statement away from my bank account statement, which can get very ugly sometimes when you're buying too many small little things. Yeah.
Correct. Nice.
Awesome. So final one. Your next month is Mother's Day, and you have plans to get things ready for Mother's Day?
Yeah, I do. I am planning. I actually got myself right there, and I was planning to do like a box arrangement that looks like a two-tier cake, like mini two-tier cake. But it's in my. I mean, the idea is the picture is here, but when I do it, the reality it might not. I don't know. I haven't tried yet.
Okay. So maybe now is the time to build some test products and then just put it out there on social media and then get people to take order.
Schedule for doing that.
Sorry?
No, I'm actually behind schedule. I was going to do it last week, but okay lah. Still got time.
Okay, that's good. Oh, nice. So now you have the whole thing planned for Mother's Day, and I think in terms of advertising, right? There is an easy way to get what you want without having to pay a lot of people. So you look for a friend who is good with maybe Google Ads or Facebook Ads. Ask them out for dinner. Pay them for dinner and say, okay, the reason why I'm asking you out for dinner is to pick your brains on this. I want you to teach me a little bit of tips and tricks on how to run advertisement. So then you treat him to dinner, him or her for dinner, and then you take up a list of questions, let them answer all the questions, and then from there, hopefully you can get more clarity on how to run ads.
Now I have someone on my mind already.
Yeah, good. So then what will happen is if you do that and then you get ready your Mother's Day content, right? The products, right? And then once you push it out, hopefully you will be able to have a better conversion from ads this round versus the Valentine's Day. Yeah, awesome. So if there's nothing else, then that will be all for this month, right? Thank you so much, Eddie, for joining us. Before we go, if you'd like to tell listeners where we can find about you, your products, and how to buy from you.
It's on Facebook and Instagram, and just search for Florist December first, and then you can chat with me.
Okay. All right. Awesome. That's all for this week, folks. Next week we will be catching up with Raymond from Athletes for Athletes again. He has some good updates on what's been going on with his entrance into the government sports centers. Let's see if there's any update from there. Our podcast is available on Anchor FM, Google Podcasts, Breaker, and Spotify. We post full videos on YouTube and clips on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. That's all for Building a Business with December 1st Florist, episode 3. Thank you very much, Eddie. We'll see you next month.